I don't know, the multi-skilled magician, eh?
Tell you what, in that teeny tiny little room though as well, and there's not much room for manoeuvre in there, is there? You couldn't really pull anything bigger than a rabbit out of a hat, let's face it.
We wanted to see the end of that trick, didn't we? What are you going to conjure up?
Or sunny spells, I tell you what. No.
That's me putting my place
I'm trying to think of a magic way of putting it. No puns. It's just rubbish, quite frankly. We saw poor old Rob Osborne a few minutes ago, earlier in the programme, standing in the rain in Port, and there's an awful lot more of that rain to come. In fact, let's start by talking weather warnings, because much of central and southern parts of Wales covered by a warning that comes into force at midnight tonight, runs until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So it's only a short burst of wet weather, but we could see some significant downpours, and that, of course, is falling onto ground which is already saturated. It's been so horrible recently, hasn't it? So there could be some local impacts, some surface spur on the roads if you're making journeys tonight, possibly some localised flooding. So here we go, the weather forecast in all its glory. Well, if you look really closely, you will see that Wales is underneath this mess of blue and green somewhere. As it stands, just the far northeast is looking dry, elsewhere thoroughly miserable conditions. But even in the northeast, that wet weather will make its way in your direction as we head through into the overnight stretch. Some heavy downpours, thoroughly miserable conditions starting to work their way northwards and eastwards by the early hours, accompanied by a strengthening breeze gusting 20-30 miles an hour, low-lying cloud, misty, murky conditions as well. Really, there's something for everyone tonight. Now, this time last night, temperatures dropped to just above the freezing mark out towards western areas. Tonight, we're looking at lows of around 12 or 13 degrees, so there is a distinct difference. It is much, much milder out there, but certainly not pleasant by any means. And we've got that wet weather warning that starts at midnight and runs until 10 tomorrow morning. And that's because really from 10 onwards, any wet weather will quickly be a dim and distant memory. There may well be a few showers dotted around, but on the whole, Saturday is shaping up to be a blustery day with some spells of sunshine and generally dry once that batch of wet weather clears through. Now, temperatures still pretty mild for the time of year, 14s and 15s, but again, factor in that wind gusting 20-30 miles an hour. It will feel just that little bit fresher, but still, as I said, several degrees above the average for this time of the year. There's more wet weather waiting in the wings then for Saturday night, setting us up for an unsettled day on Sunday, a case of sunshine and showers all the way. But really that unsettled theme continues as we head into the start of next week too. Oh dear. See, if I had a magic wand, I would conjure up something slightly more, well, I don't know, impressive.
Well, you're not helping with a top that's got raindrops all over it.
I'm blending into the set quite nicely.